Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's presentation. I'm excited to share with you an overview on Summary by Class Cloud, with a focus on power sharing for Class 10 CBSE. In this session, we'll explore the key concepts and ideas related to power sharing in our society and how it applies specifically to Class 10 students. So, let's get started and see what this topic has in store for us. Let's take a closer look at how democracy functions through the lens of power sharing. As you know, for democracy to work effectively, power must be shared intelligently among the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. This distribution helps prevent any one group or branch from becoming too powerful, which in turn promotes stability within the country. Now, to understand how this works in practice, let's consider the example of Belgium. Belgium has a very complex ethnic makeup, with Dutch-speaking people making up about 59%, French-speaking about 40%, and German-speaking around 1%. In Brussels, the capital, the majority are French-speaking, but there's also a significant Dutch-speaking minority. To manage this diversity and prevent conflicts, Belgium implemented constitutional amendments between 1970 and 1993. These amendments created structures like equal representation for different groups, separate state governments for different communities, and a unique community government system. The outcome of these measures was very positive. They helped avoid potential conflicts and divisions, fostering unity instead. This example clearly illustrates the importance of power sharing in maintaining harmony within a diverse society. It ties back to our overall theme that well-designed power-sharing arrangements are crucial for a stable and peaceful democracy. Let's look at the case study from Sri Lanka under Class 10 CBSE. The country has a Sinhala majority, making up about 74% of the population, while Tamils are a minority at around 18%. The government adopted policies that favored the majority, such as making Sinhala the official language and protecting Buddhism. They also gave preference in jobs and education to Sinhala speakers. This led Tamils to feel alienated and marginalized, which caused them to demand greater autonomy. These tensions eventually escalated into a civil war that lasted from the 1980s until 2009. The consequences were quite severe. There was widespread violence, political instability, and significant setbacks to development in the country. This example highlights the importance of power sharing. When policies are seen as unfair or exclusionary, it can lead to conflict. To build a peaceful and stable society, it's crucial to find ways to include different communities and share power more equitably. Let's take a look at why power sharing is considered desirable, especially from the perspective of Class 10 CBSE. First, there are prudential reasons. These are practical benefits that help us maintain stability. When power is shared, it reduces the chances of conflict because different groups have a stake in the system. This also ensures political stability over time. Additionally, it helps prevent the tyranny of the majority, meaning that the rights of minority groups are protected and they aren't overshadowed by the larger population. Moving on to moral reasons, these are based on principles of justice and fairness. Power sharing reflects the true spirit of democracy, which is about inclusion and participation. People have the right to be consulted and to actively participate in decision-making processes that affect their lives. Overall, power sharing isn't just about politics. It's about building a fair and stable society where everyone's voice matters. Now, let's look at the different forms of power sharing as summarized in Class 10 CBSE. First, we have horizontal distribution, which involves sharing power among different organs of government, such as the legislature, executive, and judiciary. An example of this is the system of checks and balances that helps prevent any one branch from becoming too powerful. Next is vertical distribution, where power is shared among various levels of government, like the union, state, and local governments. This is a key feature of federalism in India, ensuring that different levels of government have their own specific powers. Then we have social groups, which involves sharing power among religious and linguistic communities. For instance, in Belgium, community governments help manage different linguistic groups, And in India, reserved constituencies ensure representation for marginalized communities. Finally, political parties and groups play a role through competition, forming alliances, and coalition governments. An example here is coalition politics in India, where different parties come together to form a government and share power. All these forms of power sharing are essential because they help maintain stability, promote inclusiveness, and strengthen democracy. Connecting this to our overall theme, they show how diverse societies can govern effectively by sharing power in various ways. Let's look at some key takeaways from these examples. Belgium demonstrates that respecting diversity actually strengthens unity, showing us that embracing different cultures and communities can create a more cohesive society. On the other hand, Sri Lanka teaches us that ignoring minority rights can lead to conflict and division. It highlights how important it is to acknowledge and protect everyone's interests. This brings us to the idea that power sharing is essential in every society, whether it's big or small, divided or united. It's not just a practical strategy, it's also a moral and democratic principle. Sharing power helps ensure that different groups feel included and represented, which is vital for stability and harmony. So, in summary, understanding how different nations manage diversity and power sharing helps us see the importance of these principles in building fair and peaceful societies. Today, I want to highlight how we are committed to providing academic tutorial services that cater to a wide range of students, from primary classes all the way up to senior secondary levels. We focus on the CBSE board, along with other relevant examination boards across India. Our approach is flexible, offering both offline and online modes to ensure accessibility and convenience for every learner. Our goal is to support students at every stage of their academic journey, helping them excel in their exams and build a strong foundation for future studies. And to make learning even more engaging and effective, we've introduced Class Cloud, a platform designed to elevate your learning journey. It's all about making education more interactive, more personalized, and more accessible, regardless of where you are. So, whether you're in primary school or preparing for your board exams, our services are tailored to meet your needs and help you succeed.